What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and Orlando Magic. And of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, the Chicago Bulls are coming off of 3 straight losses in their last 3 games. And honestly, it's a team looking for answers. I don't know if it's lineup, starters, bench, injuries, coaching, but the Bulls have been looking for answers, and they haven't found any in their last 3 outings. Now, of course, with the Orlando Magic, they tough, they young, they scrappy, they out there, they trying to run and things like that. Now, the Bulls did not have Alex Caruso in this game. Of course, no Javonte Green, and of course, Lonzo Ball. Now, this game, it's pretty interesting always to see ex-Bulls players, guys like Wendell Carter Jr., go up against his old team. He always comes out, especially old Bulls players in general. They always come out with sort of like a vengeance-like style of play. Now, you did see Vooch in the post early for the first basket of the game. You actually seen Markelle Fultz get to the rim himself. And the Magic, just in general, was getting rim runs. You seen Vucevic get points in the paint versus Wendell Carter Jr. Patrick Williams was in transition attacking. You seen Paolo Banchero driving. And the Magic were up 8 at one point in the first quarter, 20-12. Zach LaVine was getting to the rim, but the Bulls' turnovers was rearing his ugly head early in the game. You did see Zach LaVine's mid-range jump shot did fall. Also, Ayo Dosunmu with a good pass to Drummond. Drummond did come off the bench tonight and added a little spark what the Bulls needed in the rebound department also. You seen the Bulls go on a 9-2 run at the end of the first, but they were down 4 after 25-21. The Chicago Bulls in this entire game could not absolutely, they couldn't score. I'm going to get into that as the second quarter. Now, you did see DeMar DeRozan with the first basket in the second, and he was 4 of 7 early. The Bulls just couldn't make threes, but they were getting out on a fast break. Zach LaVine's shot was falling in the second. You did see Kobe White get to the rim. Kobe White did have a dunk tonight, too. I would like to see a lot more of that from Kobe White, driving instead of him just sticking and staying by the perimeter. I would like to see Kobe drive a little more. But both teams were struggling, honestly, to score, if you want to be real. They both were struggling at points in this game to score. You see Ayo Dosunmu driving to the rim. Vooch was getting to the rim. But the Bulls kept giving up layups. And the layups they were giving up was off of made shots. You'll see the Bulls make a basket. The Magic would inbound and just run down court and get a layup, whether it was Fultz, whether it was somebody, Gary Harris, things like that. Paolo Banchero, Bobo, they was just giving up a lot of layups. You seen a tech on DeRozan. A lot of calls wasn't going the Bulls' way, of course. Calls wasn't being called in their favor. And they, players were getting beside themselves or besides the referees and things like that. And DeMar DeRozan did get a tech called on him. At halftime, the Bulls were down by 5, 49-44. So at half, I'm like, okay, the Bulls didn't play a good first half. They didn't play the best 24 minutes of basketball. Okay, new half, time to turn it around and get a W. Now, the Bulls were 0 of 13 from 3. 0 of 13 from 3. They could not drop a rock in the ocean from beyond the arc. That needs to be addressed as we come into the later stages of the season. The Bulls need a shooter. They need a shooter. They need a shooter. They need a shooter. They need a shooter. Lonzo Ball would be the shooter, but he's not coming. I'm sorry. Zach LaVine is sporadic. Vucevic is sporadic. DeMar DeRozan, that's not his range. Kobe White has been sporadic. The Bulls need a knockdown shooter from the perimeter. Now, you did see Zach with the first basket of the third. DeRozan, his shots were falling somewhat in the third. You did see a drive by Williams, and the Magic threes, this where they started to fall. The Bulls just looked out of sync, honestly, in the third quarter. Turnovers, guys doing miscues and things like that. A lot of offensive fouls from Zach LaVine when he was going to the basket. And the Magic just was pulling away in the third. You seen the drive by Zach. Drummond was getting inside. Kobe White was driving, which I like to see. The Bulls, they finally made a three, and I believe at the later stages of the third. And this is where I liked what Billy Donovan decided to do. He needed energy, so he elected to go with Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry came off the bench and added a much-needed punch. But the Magic, with their threes, the Bulls were down 8 after 3. In the fourth quarter, it pretty much was the Bulls trying to scratch and claw their way back into this basketball game the entire fourth quarter. They just didn't seem like they had it tonight. I mean, Zach LaVine went with a late push. He tried offensively, but every time the Bulls pushed, they got pushed back by the Orlando Magic. It just was a night to forget, honestly. You know, the Bulls only put up 91 points on the board, and they lose to the Orlando Magic 100-91. They are now 26-31, 5 games under 500 for the season. They lose again to the Orlando Magic and lose the series matchup versus this young team. Paolo Banchero did have 22, but as I get into the box scores for the Chicago Bulls, you had 6 points from Patrick Williams, 4 rebounds. DeMar DeRozan had another game of under 20. He had 19 for the game. He went 8 of 20 from the field, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Nikola Vucevic with another double-double with 13 and 13, 5 for 11. I would have liked to see Vucevic get at least 20 shots in this game, but I guess that wasn't in the game plan. A lot of times he was being looked off by guys, whether it was Zach LaVine, Kobe White, DeMar DeRozan, when he was in the post. Zach LaVine shot 9 of 20. He did have 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 26 points. Ayo Dosunmu was pretty much non-existent tonight. He went 1 of 5, 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. As far as bench production, you got Kobe White with 12. He did make 2 threes. Dragic had 2. Drummond with 6, 7 rebounds. Derrick Jones Jr., who did get hurt in tonight's game, did not return. Only played 9 minutes. He did score a point. Dalen Terry had 9 minutes, scored 4 points. Bradley Jr. did not play. Excuse me, not Bradley Jr., but Bradley did not play. I'm thinking of Derrick Jones Jr. right now. The Bulls shot an abysmal 3 of 21 from the field. They did have 44 rebounds, 17 assists, and we all know when the Bulls have anything under 20, as far as assists go, that doesn't put them in a good field to win. As far as three-point shooting, man, going 3 of 21 is just horrible. But the Magic themselves only went 8 of 27. But that was the game. And you had Franz Wagner with 18, Paolo Banchero with 22, Wendell Carter Jr. with 15, Markelle Fultz with 18 and 10. Markelle Fultz almost had a triple-double. He had 9 assists. Yeah, so that was tonight's game between the Magic and the Bulls. And now that I read the box score, I'm just going to give my thoughts on how I feel and things that I seen tonight. The Chicago Bulls are a joke right now. They are a joke. They are right where they should be. 11th in the East. They are not better than any counterpart that's above them right now. I don't care that they beat Brooklyn with Kevin Durant, etc., and the cast of characters they had, because none of those guys are there anymore. I don't care that they beat the Celtics. I don't care that they beat the Bucks, because they keep losing to teams like this. They lose to Houston. They lose to Minnesota. They lose to teams where on paper you say the Chicago Bulls have an opportunity to win this basketball game. They lose, and they lose it in ways where it's becoming an absolute embarrassment to be a fan. They're losing in ways where you see a three that consists of Vucevic, Levine, and DeRozan. And DeRozan is an all-star. He hasn't been playing like an all-star this past week since coming back from the hip. I don't know what they expect to happen, but as we close this season out, the Chicago Bulls have to look themselves in the mirror as a team. They did not make a trade before the deadline. They still have lingering issues with DeRozan's contract coming up in the summer and Vucevic. What's going to happen with those two guys? You still have the question of Zach LaVine. You still have the question about Lonzo Ball's health. The Chicago Bulls, in my opinion, at this stage, with, I believe, 2 games to go before All-Star break, they have to figure out a way to close this week out before the break on a better note. They play the Indiana Pacers Wednesday, and they play the Bucks on Friday. 2 division opponents. We know what's going to happen in the game versus the Bucks. It's going to be tough. You're going against Drew Holiday. You're going against Giannis. You're going against, I don't know if Chris Middleton is going to play. But overall, the Chicago Bulls just don't have what it takes to win games right now. Right now, they're on the outside looking into the play-in tournament. And honestly, if you were to ask me, could they win 2 games to make it into the actual playoffs, I couldn't tell you right now. I am a Chicago Bulls fan. They are playing absolutely some of the worst basketball. It's an embarrassment. It's a joke. You have guys making $200 million. Come on. Come on. I don't know if it's affected a young core or bench or injuries or what. Injuries happen. Guys get hurt. They don't play. But the ones that are leaders on this team have to be the one to step up and get it done. You lose 3 last week and you start the week off with a loss again. So that's 4 in a row. I said this earlier before the season started. I said, in the NBA, you can go on a losing streak and lose 3-4 games and you can find yourself at the bottom of the standings. The Bulls have to turn it around. I don't know what's going on with Billy Donovan and Zach LaVine and the rumors that Billy is losing the locker room and things like that, or him and Zach. It's a lot. But they get a day off and they go play the Pacers. Hopefully the 3-point shooting finds their way there. We're still hearing rumors about Russell Westbrook and things like that. But that is yet to be determined. Tonight was a tough one. Hopefully they get to turn it around versus the Pacers in their next game. We'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Chicago Bulls fans, Orlando Magic fans, or if you're just an NBA fan and this is your first time tuning into this channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to the channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.